So what is this all about today? America 250 is a national commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So it didn't take us too long to figure out what our story would be in the celebration. We just asked ourselves what industry or livelihood has been consistent in Florida for generations and is still prominent and extremely important today. So of course, our America 250 story is more than cattle history. Those of you with us today understand that cattle is more than just an industry. It is a way of life for many generations in Polk County, and here you all are.
Today we celebrate a story that is far bigger than cattle. We celebrate the people, the land, and a heritage that continues to shape Florida in ways that many people may not realize. For more than 450 years, cattlemen and women have been stewards of Florida's landscapes. From the arrival of the first Spanish cattle, Criollo, I looked it up 3 times, so Criollo cattle, to the development of the Florida cracker cattle tradition, ranching families have worked across the prairies, the flatwoods, the wetlands, and the river corridors that define Central Florida. The story of Florida cattle culture is ultimately a story of connection between people and the land, between history and conservation, and between the past and the future. It reminds us that the landscapes we treasure today have been shaped and sustained by your generations of dedicated cattlemen and women.
Celebrating not only the ranching and cattle history of the county, but it's our 250th birthday of our nation. A great time to celebrate everything America. And nothing is more American than cattle ranching. I mean, it just doesn't get any more American. The people that have done this their entire lives, and that's what a lot of them have done. It's been their entire life. They've been stewards of the land. They've been great citizens, and it's a great opportunity to celebrate with them and the rest of America our 250th birthday.
As the clerk of the circuit court and comptroller, as Myrna said, one of my responsibilities is serving as the custodian of our public records. One of the most rewarding parts of the responsibility is helping preserve records that tell the story of people and the communities that came before us. That's why this project is so special. These historic cattle brand books contain records dating back from 1960 through 1940 and document an important part of our ranching heritage. Over time, the books, as many of our records do from the past, have become very fragile due to handling. So we launched a project to restore the books and preserve them for future generations. As we reviewed the collection, we discovered connections to many family names in our ranching history. These books are often more than just records. They help tell the story of their families, the ranches, and the traditions that helped shape our community. I'm especially excited this project doesn't end with preservation. We also are making the collection available online and donating the replica books to the History Center for exhibit and for display and the exhibit, so that residents, our students, researchers, visitors, and anyone can enjoy the experience this history itself brings for all of us. The public records are the most valuable when the people can access them and learn from them. I want to thank CoFile Technologies. Representative Trey is here from CoFile, the Polk County History Center, along with the county management and the support of the Board of County Commissioners, who helped make this project possible. More importantly, I'm grateful that these books are now preserved and available for the public to enjoy. I hope they'll inspire you, people, especially our students, which are our future generation, so they can learn more about Polk County's rich agricultural heritage and the families that help build our communities.
Well, first of all, let me just say how excited we are from the agricultural industry, specifically my family, the Bellato family. We just very much appreciate what everyone has done to bring history to life, if you will. And as Myrtis was saying, the Bellato family, we had heard our father talk about how he bought his first cow at age 12. And we couldn't believe that. We were so excited, and that was just always a story that he shared with us. But we never saw the brand until Stacy and her staff and Murtis and whoever else worked on that brought that to fruition. So not only did we get to see our father's brand when he was 12 years old, but we got to see our grandfather's brand and our uncle's brand, which is incredibly important to us because we are the Circle B Bar family.
Well, I'm the president of the Florida Cow Culture Preservation Committee, and we just recently held the Great Florida Cattle Drive, which tries to promote the cracker cowboy, cracker horse, and cracker cattle in the state of Florida. And it just all tied into what the Polk County Historical Museum wanted to do, and we've become great partners in this. Well, I think the new generation needs to know where their past is and where they came from, especially in Florida, and how important the cattle industry is to the state of Florida and the whole nation. And our primary mission is to preserve our heritage, which is cattle.
I'm 8th generation in the cattle business myself. My family first moved into the state in 1830. They settled over in this area originally before moving further down where we're at in Okeechobee today. So I've got a little bit of a history with Polk County, and just glad to be part of the event here today. Glad to be able to share the message about our cow culture, the importance that it's had and that it continues to have as we move into the future. So our Florida cow culture was a crucial foundational element for our state. And quite honestly, had we not had the cattle culture and the international shipping that we had going on with Cuba back post-Civil War, we probably wouldn't have come out of the Reconstruction period as well as we did. It really laid the foundation for the economic boom in the state and continues to be an economic driver for the state today, and providing a lot of intangible benefits that most people don't think about in the way of water filtration, carbon sequestration, and providing that open green space that we all need here in Florida. Hers was a path forged strong and mighty, one that for centuries ran steady and true. A life-giving force for the landscape, the wildlife, and native tribesmen too. To them, she was known as Casima, meaning long water for all to hear. And when our forebears first laid eyes on her, she was running pristine, crooked, and clear. Her name was twisted to Kissimmee, but her importance was not diminished. From her origin in Central Florida, down to Big Water where she finished. Whether indigenous or pioneer, they saw beauty and embraced her. A living artery of the land, a massive and earnest force of nature. Native tribes and newcomers alike respected her slow and winding flow, for it was the primary means of travel, moving supplies and people by boat. My family followed her southward, homesteading on her grassy western bank, a stone's throw from old Fort Bassinger, once home to soldiers of various ranks. Weren't any barbed wires or cars back then, just ox-drawn wagons, horses, and boats. No bloated government bureaucracies filled with hacks busy whoring for votes. No faux environmental cartels keeping our waters muddy and well stirred. No theme parks nor tourist ad nausea, and no roads filled with motorized herds. Men back then were hard, daring, and bold, wed to women made of spitfire and grace. Tough as leather when they had to be, otherwise soft as silk or fine lace. Their cattle grazed on the prairies, freely wandering wherever they chose, but change was looming on the horizon as the 19th century came to a close. Florida had been wild and untamed, where cattle were plenty and folks were few, up until Henry Flagler brought his trains filled with land grabbers rolling into view. It was just the opening volley of a war to last through the years, cutting much too short the Kissimmee's days to continue flowing crooked and clear. 1920s land boom, 50s post-war push. The more people came, the more they sought change. So along with the 60s and hippies came plans for the river to be rearranged. Turning oxbows into an overgrown ditch, the Army Corps laid to digging and cutting, reducing 100 plus curving miles by half, complete with a 30-foot deep gutting. Soon rockets would launch from Canaveral shores, putting men in orbit and Armstrong on the moon, as the hum of air conditioning kept steady rhythm for the developer's tune. Hailed to all as a tropical paradise, people came funneling down here in droves, all of them chasing waterfront sunshine, shoving aside old Florida, her ranches and groves. For decades now, my family has stood firmly, resolute and unyielding against the scourge of all the money and wrong-headed thinking, marching our homeland to a funeral dirge. Today, cattle are few while people are many, as they pour more concrete for that final crop. And often it seems we're losing the battle, watching our grasslands give way to rooftops. 6 decades and 980 million, the government boasts that they fixed the river. But time and nature have yet to prove their claims, as I sit quiet in my saddle and quiver. I gaze out across the same old waters, gauging man's folly throughout all these years, knowing once again they'll be proven so wrong, because she'll never again run crooked and clear. Thank you.